Brunner did not testify in court during the trial. If convicted on all charges, she could face up to 40 years in prison. In Fond du Lac County, a teenager facing felony charges after a rollover crash killed her passenger.
16-year-old Madeline Blonigan admitted to using a vape cartridge pen filled with THC and not having a driver's license before getting behind the wheel of an SUV. She and 5 other teenagers were in the car when it crashed Saturday night near Highway HH in the township of Calumet. Prosecutors say the car struck a culvert, hit a pole, and rolled over. One 17-year-old passenger became trapped under the car and died at the scene. The Kiel Area School District has identified her as Caitlin Reinhart. The 5 others, including Blonigan, were injured. She's due back in court next month. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Both the U.S. and Iran have signed the framework of a peace deal that would end the war between the two countries. But as News Nation's Washington correspondent Raquel Martin reports, critics say it doesn't go far enough to end Iran's nuclear ambitions.
The 14-point memorandum of understanding would stop the immediate fighting, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and give both countries 60 days to negotiate a much more comprehensive final deal. Just hours before signing it, President Trump acknowledged how quickly even a deal that appears certain can fall apart. A huge sticking point, however, that's facing some criticism from even Republicans here in Washington is this MOU does not yet settle what happens to Iran's highly enriched uranium or exactly when sanctions would be removed.
Pentagon officials say the U.S. military is ready to resume strikes in Iran if it does not follow the deal. First-time claims for unemployment slipping last week in line with some of the expectations. More from ABC's Jim Ryan.
225,000 out-of-work Americans filed their initial applications for state jobless benefits in the week ended June 13th, a decrease of 4,000. The previous week's reading, 229,000 initial filings, was the highest since February. Still, economists describe the labor market as stable and in a condition of low hiring and low firing.
Milwaukee officials gathering this morning for the annual Juneteenth flag raising above City Hall. Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
Freedom Day with one of the longest running and most incredible Juneteenth celebrations, not just in the state of Wisconsin, not just in the Midwest, but in the entire United States of America. We celebrate that each and every single year here in Milwaukee, and that legend continues to grow year after year.
The flag has been raised annually over the City Hall complex during the week of Juneteenth. A number of Juneteenth celebrations scheduled for tomorrow across the Milwaukee area to commemorate the holiday. And thousands of music fans heading to Milwaukee's lakefront for the official opening day of Summerfest. But make sure you follow a new policy.
Clear bags only. The first shift in Summerfest's bag policy has the goal of speeding up lines. Small, non-clear clutches, wallets, and fanny packs are still allowed, however, with the usual searches in place. Diaper bags are allowed, clear or non-clear, but will be searched. Additionally, they've put increased parameters on what is and isn't allowed into the festival. No backpacks, coolers, pepper spray or spray-on sunscreen, drones, frisbees, banners, beach balls, or alcohol, among other things. The festival runs every weekend through July 4th. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green with word of the peace deal intact this week. The Dow up over 250 points at 51,742. The NASDAQ up over 1% at 26,349. And the S&P 500 up almost 1% as well at 7,490. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Spring into better vision at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. All starts with a comprehensive eye exam from a skilled optometrist. Takes a look at your eye health and overall well-being. Need glasses, contacts, maybe both? At Shopko Optical, get expert care and the perfect eyewear for your lifestyle, all in one convenient visit. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I go to the one at Hales Corners. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical, partners in your eye care.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. It's time, isn't it, to update the look of your house, but you don't even know where to begin. First step? Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Yes, Tri-County's been in the roof business for 47 years, but Chuck, Tony, and the crew also handle siding. They've got design consultants that can help you. No exterior contractor will do what Tri-County Contracting can do for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's siding that'll make you love your home again.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Brewers going for the series sweep this afternoon against the Guardians, coming off a 9-4 win last night. Christian Yelich, Jackson Chourio both hitting home runs, and the first major league hit for Cooper Pratt, also driving in his first run as a big leaguer. Shane Drohan on the mound today for Milwaukee. 1:10 first pitch. All of our coverage starting at 12:35 here on WTMJ. Round one of the U.S. Open underway at Shinnecock Hills Golf Club in Southampton, New York. Play was suspended a bit early due to fog. Golfers, though, back on the course. And a quick look at the leaderboard here early in round one. Sam Burns at 2 under par with a one-shot lead over the likes of Graham McDowell, Andrew Novak, and Ludwig Oberg. This golf update sponsored by Morningstar Golfers Club. Lush green fairways and velvet smooth greens. Play your next round at Morningstar. Visit golfthestar.com today. Let's take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Seeing some of our typical slowdowns in some of the work zones, 94 east and westbound near the stadium. You're slow between Hawley Road and 35th, kind of tapping the brakes in that stretch. And also 41 southbound, we're seeing some backups. That starts at Good Hope and then will ease up once you get past Capitol Drive. Rest of the system, everything else looking okay.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Get your rock solid pre-approval or a no-pressure refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
And your forecast, partly cloudy, a bit breezy, shaping up to be a pretty nice day for the opening of Summerfest. We could maybe see a shower pop up this afternoon, a high of 73. Tonight, clear skies with a low down to 56. Into Friday will be partly cloudy. Could see some late shower chances with highs in the mid-70s. And then into the weekend, Saturday, plenty of sunshine with a high of 77. Right now, 62 degrees in Madison, sitting at 63 in Kenosha, and it's 63 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristin Bride.
Someone got a birthday, I wonder who. Someone got a birthday, I wonder who.
Oh, that would be Kristin Bride.
What is that from?
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, one of our great shows on network television. Anyway, happy birthday, 40th
Thank
birthday.
you, 40th birthday.
June 1986 is when you came into this world.
It is, it is.
Yeah,
I got
thanks
a sweet June 1986 limited edition shirt on today.
So like a lot of people that are in the public eye, are you getting bombarded with all the messages and all the stuff?
Yeah, getting a lot of text messages as of this morning.
That's fun.
I posted, Mike and Frankie made me a card, and I posted a picture of the card.
Very nice.
So yeah, so I know some people don't like attention on their birthday. Big shock. I am don't mind attention, and so so the birthday texts are very fun.
Yeah. So I know you have big plans. You're going to Summerfest.
We're going to Summerfest later today. Hang out for the evening. See some Third Eye Blind, which is very millennial of me.
That's not a cliche.
Although is Third Eye Blind more millennial or Gen X?
I have no idea.
It's not a boomer.
I'd argue it's on the border.
It's on the border.
Yeah, it is on the border.
I think Passion Pit is also playing tonight, which is definitely millennial. That is definitely like the sound of my 20s. So we're feeling good.
So look for that youngish looking 40-year-old with the wild curly hair dancing or you know what off at Summerfest
There you
to
go.
celebrate her 40th
Come say hi
birthday.
if you're there this evening and you see me. Please come say hi.
So I don't often put my teases into the outline that you lovingly create for our show every day, but I couldn't resist one. So not only did you get a present on your birthday, or presents, country of Iran got a really big present from the United
Big
States.
present. Well, so far.
Yeah, potentially a $300 billion present by the president. I guess, and I know we're going to sort of go through some of this stuff, but to me, it got us nothing that we went through all this trouble, including the loss of lives, injuries,
money,
billions of dollars spent.
War chest.
Yeah, equipment, military equipment, some lost forever, to achieve a negotiation that probably could have happened without even the war effort. Because all we're doing is essentially agreeing on a 60-day conversation. Memorandum of understanding, which this president does love. Every supposed peace deal he makes and every trade deal he makes always starts with this memorandum of understanding where they tick off the things they want. But there's very little after the 60 days or after the 30 days, a look at what actually we received in the deal.
I think it's around 800 words. It's 14 points.
Yeah.
In comparison to, and this is functionally, how different is an MOU from the final deal that was signed under Obama? But I think that was 165 pages. And so it feels light on detail still.
It is, because it's a lot about conversation, negotiating, achieving the final deal in a maximum of 60 days. One of the things that's open for the conversation, and it was discussed a lot on network TV, broadcast TV as well, is the fact that there's going to be no tolls to use the Strait of Hormuz now, but that's something that in the future there'll be a negotiation on whether that should be part of the deal, sort of an international settlement. So we go from a free situation, which was before, to now we may have to pay to use the Strait of Hormuz. So how is that a win for us?
Well, it's interesting because it's at least doing a quick survey of reactions to, because at first this was leaked and then they finally just released it to journalists yesterday. And so some of the feedback initially, conservative radio host Eric Erickson said on Wednesday, this is an American surrender.
Yep.
Ted Cruz said, I think the president, unfortunately, is receiving bad advice.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsey Graham is skeptical of the agreement and referred to Vance on social media as the architect of the deal, which is also interesting. And maybe we at some point I want to talk about the whole Vance of it all, because he's supposed to be on a book tour right now.
Right. He was on The View yesterday.
And it has now turned into him kind of being the face of the deal, which is interesting because he has not spoken much about, I know that they've sent him over there for negotiations, but this is one of the guys who very much prior to this administration was a no new wars guy, right? And was basically an anti-war guy. And I don't think he was necessarily talking about this a whole lot when we first got in there 4 months ago. And so we can come back to that, but I think it's interesting to see how this plays for his presidential hopes.
Well, the president basically put it all on his shoulders.
Yeah.
He said, the parts that you like, I'll take credit for that. The rest,
If it works, it's mine.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's basically his deal now. And again, I'm reading the exact language. At least $300 billion for the reconstruction and economic development of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Keyword Islamic. There's no change in leadership. There's no change in philosophy of government. They're not going to do anything differently. It's still an extreme, I think, Islamic country. And I think that's certainly not a win for us. Now, the president argued yesterday at his press conference in France. Was he in France? I think he was in France, yes. Macron. That this was just part of it's their money. So at some point, it has to be given back to them. Well, does it? They've caused us a lot of consternation and a lot of grief. Do you have to give it back to them? How is this money obtained? What's the sources of the money?
Well,
What's the circumstances?
It always just comes back to the hypocrisy of how President Trump and the criticism of the deal that was in place and how bad of a deal it was. It was a terrible deal, terrible deal, terrible deal. And there is nothing that I understand that we are getting out of this that makes us more safer, makes us wealthier, really, or changes anything for the better than where we were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I think a lot of people, including you mentioned a bunch of people commenting on it that are conservatives. Ben Shapiro also said a bad deal, paraphrasing. And the final piece of this, one of the final pieces, it's subject to a United Nations Special Council, Security Council resolution. So you have 5 countries with veto power, U.S., U.K., France, China, Russia. They can blow it up. So then what do we have? We've given them $300 billion, potentially, and we get nothing, including now a charge potentially to use the Strait of Hormuz, which we use a lot. And it has a definite impact on our energy prices and a lot of other things that we've talked about on other shows throughout the year. We'll continue the conversation. It's 10:15 on 620 WTMJ, birthday. We'll have some fun stuff later in the show. I've got some questions for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some important questions. And by the way, we just dropped our latest overtime on our podcast page, or just search overtime. It's back. Took a little hiatus because I was off a lot and you were doing your projects, your side projects, your side hustles, your side gigs. What do you refer to them as? Just
My
work?
other job.
Your other work. Not don't you like hustle?
I worked a lot of it last night. We got an outline.
All right. You're moving forward. We'll do all of that and more right here on Point Taken, 620 WTMJ.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group, with over 40 years of experience saving businesses money. We are on a mission to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. Try saying that 5 times fast. Do you lose sleep at night trying to figure out how to make the next payroll? Are your vendors lined up outside your door? Are you cash on delivery? We can help. We have a proven process and strategy to turn your cash-sucking business into a cash-generating machine, so you can keep that cash in your pocket. It really works. We use it in our business, and many clients are successfully using it in their business. Ask Pam, who recently bought a business and asked us to help her see through the fog. Would you like to sleep at night knowing your bills are paid, take a vacation, or go out to eat with your spouse? You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us at 414-325-2040 to set up a complimentary consultation. That's 414-325-2040, or visit us at nealgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, we celebrate summer in Wisconsin, from rock climbing, great climbs across the state of Wisconsin, opportunity there, and golfing in the state of Wisconsin, and water skiing. Sound fun?
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Steve and Kristin on the birthday of all birthdays.
I don't know if it's a birthday of all birthdays.
Well, for you it is, because we're talking about you.
That means I'm exactly 40 years younger than the president, because he just turned 80.
Yeah, you're halfway there.
You think I'll make it to 80?
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
I don't know.
Well, there's no guarantees in life.
There's no guarantees in life.
But given your level of fitness, your passion, your energy for life, I would say you're in a good place.
All right, we'll take it.
All right. So one of the texters says, "Well, what would you have done?" You answered it brilliantly. I think that was your answer. Not gone to war.
Not gone to war. There was another option.
Yeah.
The option that basically every president prior to this,
chose,
or like since the 70s, has chosen. It was like, yeah, maybe we should figure out all the other ways to deal with Iran before going to war. And despite them being, an enemy of ours for a long time, there was a lot of decisions for a lot of reasons of why this was not a good idea, why no one has done it prior to this administration.
Yeah, and we have probably the most powerful defense system in the world, right? And the technology, and the firepower, the manpower, the women power, all of that stuff. And there are ways you can do things covertly to achieve the same aims that this didn't achieve, right? We did all of this. 50,000 troops, by the way. I looked it up. 50,000 troops committed to this war effort. 50,000. That's why we're talking billions and billions of dollars to achieve something that could have been done sitting at a table without launching a war. They would have come to the table. They would have, because some of these things they wanted. They want the $300 billion back before the war. They wanted at some point to use their geopolitical advantage of having that Strait of Hormuz run by their country for financial gain. They would have done that before the war. That's why this stuff matters. It's It is not a good example of showing leadership in the world when you basically bend over and give them whatever they want. Sorry if that hurts your feelings, but that's the way it is. And for my conservative friends, and I heard from a lot of them in the last couple of days about a lot of different topics.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
just via text? You just text with each other?
Email, text, whatever.
Right.
I'm getting a lot of talking points. And some of the talking points people send me, I can tell who wrote them. They're so obvious, like the Shapiros of the world and some of the other commentators. I can actually tell who wrote them, or the Scott Jennings, on CNN. It's like so obvious. So your response to me being critical of the administration is to send me a talking point.
Well, what are some of the talking points?
What was the one yesterday? What was our topic yesterday? My blowing up this idea that we were going to somehow transform the reflecting pool to make it look blue. Somebody sent me this long scientific thing of how this administration was doing it the right way by sealing it. When anyone with a functioning brain knows that was not the right way to handle it. The only way this is going to stay crystal clear water is to have a circulation. But you spent all that time, texter, or actually it was an emailer, writing this long, which basically you stole from somebody I think I know in a local radio here, and you basically just cut and paste all that and send it to me as like, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do. Because today, there are chunks of that blue painted surface floating to the top. The paint's not adhering already. Oh, God. $14 million. That's just one example. And look, everyone knows I'm not a fan of political party talking points, even though I self-identify as a Republican. Hate them. Because it's lazy, it's unintellectual. It doesn't show that you're using your gray matter to any degree. You're just cutting and pasting stuff you see on the internet. I am sick and tired. I know this is sort of a speech. I wasn't going to make a speech on your birthday, but maybe I'll make it. Right,
it wouldn't be my birthday if you didn't make a speech.
That's true. Wouldn't be a show if I didn't make a speech at some point. We are in love somehow with the internet and the power to take things and ideas and rants that you see on the internet and then make it your own as sort of your evidence that you're intelligent or educated on an issue. It actually proves the opposite.
There was actually I'll go find it. There was a great Substack I wrote, I did not write it, but read as far as because of the internet and because of how much we consume, none of us have original thoughts anymore. Like we're constantly looking for someone's take and then like iterating our own take instead of just sitting with a set of facts and thinking about what do I actually, given the information I have, what do I actually think about this before immediately being bombarded with other people's opinions about it? And like the purposeful effort it takes to now try to think, what do I think before immediately looking externally?
Yeah, it's done every day. I have good friends that do this to me all the time. I'm like, seriously, use your brain. Okay, you sent me that. So let me ask you a question. Two things. The power of conversation, not me sending you something, you sending me back, and we're actually not listening to each other, but the power of conversation. And secondly, beyond what you just sent me, what does that mean to you? What does that suggest that the real right answer is here? Because everyone has what they think their answer is. But the power and the wisdom of a crowd is you get to the best possible solution with a diversity of viewpoints. And when I see a party, either party, suggesting this is the way we must do it, without the conversation, the communication with people who think differently on the same subject. Look, I understand, texter, that Iran was a nuclear threat. I don't like it.
They did not have a nuclear bomb yet,
no,
though.
They have
uranium.
Moving towards or have enriched uranium.
But
that is a threat, yes.
But the texter just said, we forget that they had a bomb?
No.
We
don't know that. We assume they don't. But we know the threats. But we also can use our brains, collective intelligence, our great defense systems, to understand there's other ways to go after this. And perhaps a targeted response at these sites may have been the answer. But 50,000 troops, billions of dollars, lost lives, lost equipment, and lack of respect in the world, which is not unique to Iran and that region, matters. And when we talk about the power of this country that we're losing, my opinion, maybe not yours, you can text if you want, is that we are not being respected in the fashion that we were, let's say, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. I don't think we are. We're diminished, even with our closest allies who look at us and think, what the hell's going on there? And the only way that changes is when they come to our country and say, you know what? I actually like those people. Their government leaders are idiots, but I actually
these people are great.
Yeah, they're fascinating and fun.
Let's go to Buc-ee's. Get some unlimited soda.
All right. Your thoughts are welcome. Speak for yourself, the texter says. Absolutely, that's what we're paid to do. Speak for ourselves. Lots more coming up. Point taken. Birthday edition on 620 WTMJ.
You can stand guard all you want. Good luck guarding this.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Swing and a miss! He struck him out! A complete game shutout from Jacob Mizorowski. We are all witnesses.
The Brewers go to work against the Guardians today in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 12:35. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scafidi for Annex Wealth Management. When life changes, who can help you? Loss of a partner, divorce, health crisis, suddenly handling the finances on your own can be scary. When that happens, what do you do? If it happened today, would you be prepared? Annex Wealth Management invites you to a single in retirement financial planning strategies Wednesday, June 24th at 6 p.m. at their amazing headquarters in Brookfield. Been there a bunch of times. You will love this building. There are unique, and the people who work there, there are unique financial challenges for those who age alone. This workshop helps identify resources and best practices around managing your healthcare, housing, finances, basically creating a support network. Reserve your spot by clicking events at annexwealth.com. At Annex Wealth Management, personalized guidance begins with understanding your unique situation and goals. Everybody's different, whether it's investment management, tax planning strategies, or preparing for retirement. I hope to do that at some point. Their team can help you make informed decisions with confidence that have the best interest for you or your business in mind. As a fee-only fiduciary, Annex Wealth Management is committed to putting clients' interests first with goal-focused, non-commissioned strategies. Great team, and all part of a financial plan that makes sense, all under one roof. Know the difference. Visit annexwealth.com, Annex Wealth Management, events page.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know inspiration's in full swing this time of year. So bring us your wild ideas, and we'll bring the value on the quality supplies you need to make it happen at unbeatably low prices. Right now, during our lawn care sale, 50 quart bags of Miracle Grow Potting Mix, $11.99. $5 off select Techner Apex heavy-duty garden hoses. And assorted bags of Timberline mulch, 4 for $10. Find value on everything to do your thing. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
As always, we appreciate all the texts that have been coming in. Yeah, there's a lot of...
Thank you for the birthday text, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate
Happy
it.
birthday, Kristin Bry, 40th birthday. I understand this is a open-ended conversation because we have this like 60-day sort of moratorium or memorandum of understanding, but we're not to the end of the road here. We have to work with the leaders of Iran, whoever that is, whatever they represent, to come up with something that works for both countries, with the goal, I would think, for our country to have a non-nuclear weapon-powered Iran.
Yeah, I mean, I think someone texted in saying, do you forget that we've effectively neutered them? I don't know if we know. I mean, if that's what we're working towards, and that includes, because I know part of this is negotiating that they can no longer fund Hezbollah or different terrorist groups and organizations that are making the world less safe. So, I do think there is, when this is all said and done, if there is less... Peace in the Middle East is such a cliche term, but there is less ongoing hostility
yeah.
and death and the threat of a nuclear weapon being, created and then used against Israel. All of that is yet to be seen. So if you are right, I don't know if it's proven that they are effectively neutered right now. If we get to the place where that feels true, maybe this will have all been worth it.
Yeah, then we have something. But ultimately, the answer, I just had this conversation with a friend of mine. The answer in the Middle East is if the wars are fought with words, not weapons. Because we've had weapons for millennia in the Middle East. It has to change.
Isn't it crazy that we have not evolved past war as a species?
Well, we made war easier with the drones.
But like, if you just, okay, we got a break.
All right, we got update from Neil Doyle coming up. Here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The Supreme Court unanimously ruled today that a law banning gun ownership from any person who uses drugs illegally violates the Second Amendment. ABC's Devin Dwyer covers the court.
The decision does set new limits on how the federal government can go after gun owners simply for having a history of drug use, and it was especially welcomed by millions of American cannabis users who have had to disarm or risk up to 15 years behind bars.
Vice President J.D. Vance briefing reporters on the memorandum of understanding the U.S. signed with Iran to end the fighting. It's reopened the Strait of Hormuz. The deal has faced criticism from some Republicans and many Democrats. Heavy rain creating dangerous conditions along the Gulf Coast. A flash flood emergency has been issued for Picayune, Mississippi, where 3 to 5 inches of rain have fallen and another 3 to 6 inches of rain are possible today. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Neil Doyle. Jury deliberations resuming in the trial of Amandrea Brunner, the woman accused of causing the crash that killed 2 Marquette University lacrosse athletes last fall. Brunner facing 6 felonies. She did not testify in court. If convicted on all charges, she could face up to 40 years in prison. The man accused of intentionally hitting his father with a car, now in custody. 23-year-old Lindsay Ward of Milwaukee faces 2 felony charges of attempted first-degree intentional homicide and hit and run. Menominee Falls police arrested Ward on Wednesday after a 4-day manhunt. Ward, accused of fleeing the scene after an argument with his father, led to him intentionally striking his dad with the car last Saturday. The father was taken to the hospital for life-threatening injuries. Milwaukee residents, once again, will have a chance to weigh in on the redevelopment proposal for the former Walmart at the Midtown Center. Comes after many neighbors voiced concerns and opposition during a meeting last week, particularly about plans for a computing facility at the site. Developers continue to stress the project is not a data center. The redevelopment proposal includes housing, self-storage units, and a public library branch. The meeting tonight starting at 5:30 at the former Walmart. Time for News About Your Money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Dow up 156 points at 51,648. The NASDAQ up over 1% at 26,318. And the S&P 500 up 62 at 7,480. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the road, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a new crash to report. This is 94 northbound right at Layton Avenue as you start to approach the Mitchell interchange. Part of the left shoulder is blocked there because of a crash, so kind of slowing you down again as you approach the Mitchell interchange. Seeing slowdowns in some of our work zones. 41 southbound, you are on the brakes starting at Good Hope, and then that eases up once you get past Capitol Drive. Over on the northbound side of 41, you're slow from North Avenue until Capitol, and seeing some typical delays 94 east and westbound right near the stadium, kind of tapping the brakes between Hawley and 35th. Your WTMJ forecast, partly cloudy, breezy, shaping up. It should be a nice opening day for Summerfest. We could maybe see a shower develop late this afternoon, a high of 73 degrees. Tonight then, mostly clear, a low down to 56. Friday, partly cloudy, maybe an afternoon shower with a high of 75. And then into the weekend, plenty of sunshine on Saturday, highs in the upper 70s, and then mostly cloudy on Sunday with a high of 70. Right now, it's 64 degrees in Green Bay, sitting at 63 in Waukesha, and it's 64 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1034.
$998 buys you a magnificent diamond solitaire engagement ring at Kessler's.
A solid gold mounting shows off a big, beautiful diamond, 3/4 of a carat.
Glitter, twinkle, sparkle.
This is the definitive diamond solitaire engagement ring.
You can choose a round diamond, radiant, marquise, or oval.
3/4 of a carat. Any shape you want.
Any color of gold you want.
A 1-carat solitaire is just $1,498.
Ask to see the ever more engagement rings at Kessler's.
You're going to be ecstatic about the color, clarity, and cut of your diamond.
Evermore.
Each of these diamonds was lovingly created in the heart of a miniature star.
Your diamond will remain.
Evermore.
Your diamond was born about the time you fell in love.
You will be in love.
Evermore.
Your diamond has been waiting patiently for you to see it, love it, and choose it.
Don't keep it waiting. Come to Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Oh boy, it's Father's Day weekend. Take your dad and your grandfather to the Mine Shaft restaurant, the most affordable Father's Day dining destination. WTMJ's John Mercure. Your dad's Wednesday and Friday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $8.99. You're going to pay a whole lot more elsewhere. The Father's Day buffet is an all-you-can-eat feast, and it's under $20. It's every dish Dad loves, including homemade desserts. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. Everybody loves that. Those kids can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly set away from the dining area. I highly recommend the Mine Shaft's Wednesday and Friday all-you-can-eat fish fry for $8.99 and the Father's Day buffet for under $20. You don't need to spend a lot of money at the Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and near EAA in Oshkosh. Take your dad to the Mine Shaft this week. Just walk in, but Google, call, and reserve your Father's Day table today. Don't forget your dad. Make it a special day. Check out the Mine Shaft.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Bry. He is Steve Scafidi, and this is one of our avid listeners. Shout out to Peter.
Yeah,
lots of factoids. They've never met Peter in person, but texts us a lot of information. It's a very smart guy. So it's almost like he knew where we were going next.
Right.
He just texted in saying, I had a professor back in the 70s when AI was a dream that was gradually developing, but computer hardware wasn't at all yet powerful enough to host it. And the professor predicted that once AI entities fully evolved, they would transport themselves out in space to get away from destructive human emotions, egos, impulsiveness, and aggressive violence, and then watch over us on Earth and try to protect us from having senseless wars and destroying the planet. So obviously that was a reaction to us saying, have we not evolved against past wars? But the other thing we were going to talk about is how good AI videos are getting, that even experts are starting to have a hard time deciphering them.
Yeah, it's less Peter's description and more just fear that, man, there's something you can't even tell if it's real or not.
Yeah.
That's my fear.
And so, there's been more for Tom Hanks, Sanjay Gupta. Last week when you were gone, we were talking about the AI political video for James Tallarico. And so I was reading about it. So it's his name's Hani Farid.
Sounds right.
Who's a leading deepfake expert, and he told the New York Times that in the last 6 months, he feels like he is going blind because it's getting impossible to spot the counterfeits. And he's struggling to do what he's always done, which is help journalists and governments and human rights organizations validate key footage, especially from war zones. And he says, quote, within a year or two, our whole visual system will be utterly useless.
Here's why this is very worrisome to me. We have government. You put this in the outline. The governments are sharing some of this stuff now. Actual governments are sharing this stuff. And here's where it gets really...
sharing fake stuff as if it's real.
Yeah. And here's where it gets really concerning. Because if you can create something that says, for example, the United States did this horrific act, or whatever, pick any country in the world.
We bombed a school?
Yeah, and then you show horrific graphic pictures. There could be an immediate... high-level, dangerous response militarily that's based on something that didn't actually happen.
Did you watch that Netflix movie? With the four, it's Steve Carell.
I did watch that. Yeah,
Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
It was the four tech billionaires and their AI, and it's that's exactly the plot. Yeah. And while they're all in Aspen somewhere, the world is burning down because of AI videos
trying
and
to kill
the way
their friend,
and the way that people are reacting to videos that aren't even real.
Yeah, and I put it at the bottom. There's an answer for this. Anything that's AI has to be branded AI.
So I saw that you put that as far as that is the obvious solution.
Yes.
How do you enforce it? Who's responsible? What are what body is responsible for it?
Congress says to any tech company, this is a requirement. It can be a watermark, it can be subtle, but it has to be branded that it's artificially intelligence created.
But think about what it would take to monitor that. right? And I'm saying as far as
That's
I
the how
understand it, right?
question
Most of us are like, yes, this feels obvious, but if you start thinking about, just think about political ads. And so do you, when it's if political campaign ads that are, say that break some kind of campaign finance law, do you ever go after the people who played the ad?
There are lawsuits based on some of this stuff.
But that's the thing. It's like, who would have to be held responsible? Who has the most to lose in order to actually self-monitor because the fine or the consequence would be so high? But then you have to make the consequence that high. And do you go after the individuals who are making the videos? Do you go after the platforms that host the videos?
Twofold.
Okay.
Yeah, both. But it has to start with a regulation that says this is the law of the land. If you're using artificial intelligence to create a video or content, it has to be branded as
Do you think
such.
jail time?
Absolutely.
If you publish something that doesn't have a demarcation that it's AI,
Also, the significance
a
of the act.
fine or actually going to jail.
Yeah.
Or going to prison.
Yeah, think about the significance of the act. If it causes harm for people, not just like personal pride or whatever you're personally offended by it, but actually results in death or violence, absolutely. And we always get caught up, those of us in talk radio, on the how question. How do you do this? And it often is a stumbling block to actually then doing something about it. We have to understand, just because something's hard doesn't mean we shouldn't do something about it.
Oh, I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm asking, what you have to figure out the how if you're going to do it, though.
I just told you. You have to create legislation that's directed towards these specific things.
I understand. And in the legislation, you have to write in enforcement.
Yes, and enforcement has to be done by the federal government, Department of Justice, if you're talking about a federal case. And obviously down the ladder of local jurisdictions.
Do you think that's going to happen?
I think it has to happen at some point because this, as you said, as we started this conversation, it's dangerous.
And the only reason why I said this, I think, when it was last year? Yeah, last year when Amy Klobuchar had that deep fake happen about her reacting to Sydney Sweeney or something like that. And then she wrote a op-ed for the New York Times about needing to regulate this. The only reason why I think I'm surprised it actually isn't moving a little bit faster is because in this world, politicians also have a lot to lose as far as their face and voice and likeness being used in fake videos to defame them and slander them. And so, having a little skin in the game as far as what they have to lose maybe would make them move a little bit faster.
Look,
but
everybody sort of has experienced already, if you're involved in the internet at all, the fun part of AI, right? Donald Trump doing goofy things, or pick your, the Democrat you don't like, and they're, in some weird video doing, some dance routine. We all get that, and that's essentially harmless, I guess. But when you're talking about situations where they can escalate very quickly by deceiving people, deception as a sort of a tool to get a final result that you think is important, but actually could be very dangerous in the world, we have to do something. And it has to start with a president who, let's be honest, has made friends with many of the tech companies and their owners and their leadership groups, and has basically given them a free pass on this issue. Congress, what have they done on it? Nothing. They've had a couple of hearings. They brought
the only one they've passed the one as far as like deep fakes with like sexual
content. Yeah. Which is a good start, but why stop there? I think this has a tremendous risk for our population. I wish I had Peter's optimism that somehow the AI overlords would look at us and say, we're going to just remove that without them even knowing that we're doing it. They're that smart, that all-knowing.
Did you watch Begonia?
No.
Okay. The similar thoughts as far as
deceiving people.
Well, no. It's just like as far as just as a species, as a human species, our failings because of ego, because of the destructiveness that we create, and that we can't get past some of this like lizard brain behavior.
I had this conversation. Alex Strofe interviewed me for the latest episode of Videology, and he asked me.
I can't wait to listen to this.
It's a great listen, and he asked great questions. He's a great interviewer and a great talent here at Good Karma. But he asked me what I think was the difference in my life, and I've done a bunch of really cool, interesting things in my careers, plural. And one of the things that I pride myself on is, and I get the irony, I talk for a living, but I was also known for accomplishing things. And we too often now are giving people credit for saying stuff or posting stuff. I'm sick of that BS. Do something. So Congress, if you're elected leader, state legislature, if you're elected leader, instead of arguing about in this case of our state, tax relief bill, or in Congress, the issue we're talking about now, actually get something done, because you're not doing that. Get you know what done is my motto and my mission statement in life for the rest of my life, however lucky I'm going to live. Get it done.
Get it done.
I shortened it from 4 letters
Get her
to 2.
done.
Yeah, get her done. That's the message, man. And I'm sick and tired of these people who just live on talking. And I get the irony, so save the text. Quick break.
Is life insurance still on your list from earlier this year? Now is the perfect time to just get it done. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40, and her $5,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Hey, Father's Day is Sunday. Don't forget your father. WTMJ's John Merck here. I highly recommend taking your dad, maybe your grandfather, to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club for the all-you-care-to-eat Father's Day brunch. It is magnificent. Every dish Dad loves, including desserts, which I know I love. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. All other dinners tonight through Sunday are buy one, get one free. That's incredible. Your dad's favorite steak, seafood, ribs, the mixed grill of a filet, shrimp, and scallops. Any entree or buy one, get one free. Those desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Celebrate your dad with a cocktail on the beautiful outdoor patio, and then dinner in one of the 8 unique dining rooms, some with beautiful views. The Fox and Hounds hugs the Kettle Moraine Forest. The drive, the views are spectacular, and your dad's Friday haddock all-you-care-to-eat fish fry is one of the best. Fox and Hounds off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. Google, call, and reserve your free dinner. Tables are open. Dad's gonna love it.
At Associated Bank, we get life gets complicated. So banking, it should be easy to get. That's why our tools speak your language. Automated savings, it's saving automatically for anything. Digital controls, you lose your card, you're still in control. Turn it off, then on, all on the app. And Money Monitor, you know where your money goes, like those long-forgotten subscriptions. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Oh, got to talk about the obvious. Mrs. Kristin Bry celebrating her. Look at that cupcakes.
All right, so for anyone watching the YouTube stream right now, I'm holding up my gift from Kathy Scafidi.
Yeah, the funfetti.
Who made me made me 12 funfetti cupcakes.
They look amazing.
They smell great. They look amazing.
I sampled one last night because she made a couple extra for me. So I had a cupcake before you had a birthday cupcake.
But now the question is, if there's only 12, there's more than 12 people that work at this building.
You have to decide, Kristin Bry, who. And I don't want one. I already had one. So the 12 teammates or family members who qualify to receive a Kristin Bry 40th birthday cupcake.
What hoops should I make them jump through?
As many as possible. I mean, I'm serious, man. Make them do a song, maybe a dance. And I would record all this for clever, funny,
content,
snarky videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So get some of our teammates to
Jazz,
help you.
get it together.
All right.
Figure out what you're going to do in order to get one of these cupcakes.
All right, because I'm a person of history. I want to just sort of cover a few things that have happened in the 40 since 40 years ago was a big moment. It was 1986, as your shirt probably displays. June 1986 is when Kristin came into the world. Top movies?
It was a hot
Gun.
day. I
Yeah.
do remember that. It was a Wednesday. I think it was a Wednesday and a hot day.
Well, you don't remember. You were told about
My
it.
mother told me.
Yeah. Top Gun came out.
Wow.
Yeah, 40
Okay.
years. And they've had one new one since and another one's coming. One of my favorite movies of all time, Matthew Broderick, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Great movie.
I could watch it over and when they do when he sings Dankeschön and Help.
Sloane.
Yeah, Sloane. Whatever
Babe.
happened to her?
Total babe.
What happened to her?
I don't know.
That'd be like
Because she was also in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
she's like 70 now, right?
Yeah, she was a babe, though.
Stand By Me, great movie. Rob Reiner, I think, directed it. Aliens, one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. And this is a classic, Pretty in Pink. You probably know that movie.
Of course. I know all those movies.
Who was the dude? The guy she wanted at the end? He had the cool car. He was it Alex? Or
I don't remember what
Alec?
his name is. That was another actor who was very attractive, who I don't think did a ton of movies besides that
He
one.
got out of the business.
Yeah.
And he was a stud.
He was a stud.
Yeah, Pretty in Pink. News, launch of the Mir space station. The Chernobyl disaster happened 40 years ago.
That was 40 years ago.
Yeah, I just watched a doc on that about.
Did you watch the HBO series?
Yes.
was
Fantastic. Great acting in that, by the way. The Statue of Liberty's centennial celebration.
Okay.
Voyager 2's Uranus flyby.
Okay.
Probably missed that one. The first class inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Really? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame started in 1986?
Yeah, so
Okay.
an enterprising texter, because I don't have time, will look up who those first inducted Beatles, I'm guessing, and who else would go in there.
I mean, if you're starting in
Rolling
1986, there's a
Stones,
whole bunch of people
Beatles, Rolling Stones.
that came before that you can start inducting.
There's always surprises. And
Considering how good the music was in like 50s and 60s. Yeah.
yeah, speaking of music, Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet, great album. Metallica's Master of Puppets, Beastie Boys' License to Kill, Paul Simon's Graceland, which is a great
Well, one of my
musical,
favorites.
and Madonna's True Blue. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions because it's your birthday.
Okay.
And I ask you questions because
Should we come back and do it?
Yeah, we should because, God, we almost ran out of time.
All right, come back and you're going to ask me some questions.
Just a few quick questions on your 40th birthday.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickert. One of our senior loan consultants recently helped their first-time homebuyer client win over 13 other offers. Of course, it was a team effort with their buyer's agent, and it centered around helping our clients understand what little difference there was to their monthly payment to offer over the asking price. And again, what little difference it would make to give the sellers peace of mind that they'd still buy even if the appraisal came in up to $20,000 short. But that's not all. Our consultant also texted and called the listing agent to reinforce how well qualified our buyers were and that they could, in fact, still close even if the appraisal came in low. Your AccuNet consultant will help you understand your options so you can decide how aggressive you want to be. Then we do everything possible to help you win. Don't let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Know your options and get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the products you need and trust at unbeatable prices? Like $200 off a Hobart Handler 210 MVP MIG welder, now $999.99. Save $110 on 192-piece DeWalt Mechanics tool set. And all Steelworks welding stock 10% off. Find the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Where you live matters. Searching for assisted living can bring a lot of questions and a lot of emotion. At the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association, we believe you need a clear, complete picture without pressure. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association on whereyouLiveMatters.org, a one-stop destination with unbiased information to help you understand your options and connect directly with providers in your area. No confusion, just tools that help you take the next step with confidence. Start your research today at whereyouLiveMatters.org.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Hope your summer's going great. I've got a great idea to help you build out the rest of your summer. Still looking for that family vacation idea or that romantic getaway for the fall? I have got you covered. Join me for Experience Wisconsin Saturdays at 1 right here on 620 WTMJ. We're full of ideas with great interviews and cool suggestions. This week we are joined by Beloit and Jefferson. Going to be a lot of fun. It's Experience Wisconsin Saturdays at 1 right here on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, quick. Fire off 5 questions for you. Worst job you ever had?
Ooh, I was a hostess at a vegan restaurant in San Francisco, but I was living in Berkeley and I didn't have a car. So I would ride my bike to the BART, which was like a mile, leave my bike at the BART, take the BART to San Francisco, get down in the downtown area, walk another like half mile to go do my shift. And it was so boring. Like every other job I ever had was not, because it was like fine dining. So I would just sit there and be so bored versus my other job at the time was working at a bar on campus. That was way more fun. That was the only job I ever got fired from.
Ooh.
Because I'm pretty sure they could tell how miserable I was.
More to that story. Tell it some other time. Biggest on-air mistake?
When I was still on maternity leave in my old show, a different station, I was calling in to check in on Wednesdays, and I was very tired because I was postpartum, and I was very close to saying the F word on set.
Whoa, that would be
and
a
I
big
think I was
mistake.
ranting about something, and I was just like delirious with exhaustion, and I was very close to saying the F-bomb on air. But I caught myself.
That could get.
But I got dumped this week, so maybe that technically is
dropped
it.
the T word on the show. Anyway, your favorite Wisconsin, it can be anything, hidden gem or favorite place.
I'm sure there have more than this, but because it's top of mind, where we spent this last weekend was called Camp Kettlewood in East Troy, and it is a gem of a place. It is like elevated camping because they have antique cabins, they have antique campers.
It's been around for a long time, right?
No, he only owned it. The owner bought it in 2020.
Wow.
So I think it has his history as like a Girl Scout camp.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it was a Girl Scout camp,
and
and now it's a camp where you can rent out different campsites. It's obviously in East Troy. There's still things you can go do, but we will be going back for sure next year.
What is your most irrational fear? What do you fear?
10 years ago, I think I feared never accomplishing anything.
Oh, that's a
I don't
common
really have
one.
that one as much anymore because I feel like I have accomplished some things. I don't know if I have an irrational fear.
Do you have a recurring dream? Like I have
still have a
dreams
recurring
about that
theme
kind of
that I
stuff.
didn't finish college. That I didn't like.
Oh.
I was like,
you're one credit.
I was
short.
1 credit short.
I think a lot of people
for like
have
a
that
Spanish class or something.
All right, what's your weirdest celebrity encounter?
Weirdest?
Yeah, or funniest or whatever. Strangest.
I mean, I got to party into the night with Chris Evans once.
Nice.
It was post Golden Globes. And this, I think he's now been canceled. But when I was a young actress, my best friend was Armie Hammer. So like 18, 19, we were in acting class together and we were best friends. Then when I moved back in 2019, he was already famous and yet not yet canceled. And so we partied after a Golden Globes party, and there was a lot of celebrities in that room, including Chris Evans.
Nice. Real quick, I'll add one in. What's your favorite piece of advice from your 40-year-old self to your 30-year-old self?
There's no way around it. Just go through it.
Good stuff. Break for news. Jeramey and Janine, UrbanMilwaukee.com. After the break.
Welcome to our Everyday Health feature sponsored by the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Stroke is the number 4 cause of death and a leading cause of disability in the United States. It's estimated 80% of strokes are preventable. Here to tell us more is Dr. Adam Wadena, a neurologist with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Dr. Wadena, thank you so much for being with us. What is a stroke?
So a stroke happens when the brain itself is being starved for oxygen. There are 2 different types of stroke. One of them is called an ischemic stroke, where you have a blood clot or a blockage of some kind, and the other type is a hemorrhagic stroke, where the blood vessels will burst open and you will bleed into the brain itself. And depending on where those things happen, it will change the way that a stroke looks from person to person.
Dr. Wadena, what can individuals do to reduce their risk of a stroke?
The number 1 controllable risk factor for stroke is high blood pressure. It's really important to make sure that you keep that in a good, healthy, normal range. Other factors at play include high cholesterol, high blood sugar, substance substance use, but particularly guilty in this category is tobacco, smoke, cigarettes, vaping as well. Things we can do in our day-to-day to reduce our risk of stroke is making sure that we're maintaining a healthy weight, keeping up with our exercise routines, and keeping a healthy diet as well.
What role does rehabilitation play after a stroke?
Rehabilitation after a stroke is extremely important. Our bodies are looking to use those muscles and nerves again as soon as possible. So we start that the moment that you're here.
Can you please tell us about the treatment options your team offers?
The treatment options that are available are going to depend on the type of stroke that someone is experiencing. For example, if it's the ischemic stroke and there's a blood clot somewhere, we might be able to use a clot-busting medicine to help break that blood clot down, or perhaps even do a procedure where we can go in and remove that blood clot from the blood vessel itself. If it's a bleeding type stroke, we may need to go after surgery so we can remove the blood from the brain.
To find a doctor who's right for you, visit freighter.com/stroke.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You know, it's been more than 3 years since we got our garage door from J.D. Griffiths, and it still looks brand new. I'm telling you, it's quiet, it's smooth, and honestly, I didn't realize how much of a difference a quality door would make until we upgraded. J.D. Griffiths, they've been doing it for decades. They're local, trusted, and they handle everything. Try the website, jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ. Schedule your free consultation from J.D. Griffiths.
You can stand guard all you want. Good luck guarding this.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Swing and a miss! He struck him out! A complete game! Shutout from Jacob Mizorowski. We are all witnesses.
The Brewers go to work against the Guardians today in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 12:35. We are the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Just after 11 o'clock, it's 66 degrees, a mix of sun and clouds, breezy with a high around 73 today. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Neil Doyle. Jury deliberations resuming about 2 hours ago in the trial of Amandria Brunner. She's charged with 6 felonies in the crash that killed 2 Marquette University lacrosse athletes last fall. Brunner did not testify in court. If convicted on all charges, she could face up to 4 decades in prison. Wisconsin businesses that rely on foreign workers to fill seasonal positions have encountered delays in processing visas necessary to make those hires.
Door County Tourism relies in part on workers employed through the H-2B visa program, but several managers like Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant Jamie Blossom are navigating a backlog of visa applications.
A typical year, it would be 20. This year, we have 6.
Even post-summer boom, Blossom says those workers play a key role as there aren't enough local residents applying for the jobs. She adds visitors should exercise patience at their favorite establishments this year.
Kindness is free.
Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Earlier this morning, the U.S. Supreme Court weighing in on whether habitual drug users can legally own a firearm. More from ABC's Devin Dwyer.
The Supreme Court's decision was unanimous, ruling that a long-standing federal ban on guns for unlawful users of any controlled substance is unconstitutional, especially as applied to a Texas man who simply consumed marijuana several times a week and was prosecuted.
Justice Neil Gorsuch, who wrote the opinion, says it limits but does not end the government's power to take guns away from drug users. Milwaukee police investigating a shooting that left a 37-year-old critically injured early this morning happened just after midnight near 19th and Beecher on the city's south side. The victim suffered serious injuries, was taken to the hospital for treatment. Police say they are still searching for suspects. And Summerfest crowds will have several ways to reach the lakefront without fighting for a spot next to the gates.
Jason Stewie with Milwaukee World Festival says the hop can help people connect from downtown to the lakefront.
Yeah, you can't complain about free, and the hop is super accessible and easy to get on.
For drivers, one closure may change the usual route in or out. Stewie says crews are dealing with a bridge issue near the grounds.
Due to emergency repairs, the Clybourne Bridge will not be in use for the Summerfest event dates, but we've been working with Milwaukee Police Department, DPW, and DOT on identifying routes that are going to serve as best.
Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The NASDAQ up over 1% at 26,363. The Dow up 139 points at 51,632. And the S&P 500 is up almost 1% as well at 7,489. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Griffin Ford in Waukesha. Hey, if you've been thinking about a new vehicle, now's the time to take a serious look at Griffin Ford's Ford American Value for American Values Employee Pricing event. This is great. For a limited time, you pay what employees pay. That's right, employee pricing on a huge selection of new Ford vehicles. Right now, they have 50-plus all-wheel drive Ford Explorers in stock starting at $38,978. How about the 2026 Ford Bronco Sport all-wheel drive? More than 20 in stock starting at $28,995. And Escape owners get an additional $1,000 off. But what really sets Griffin Ford apart is inventory. Griffin Ford is one of the largest selections of new Ford vehicles anywhere in Wisconsin. That means you're not spending hours searching dealer to dealer or settling for something close to what you wanted. You can choose the color, trim, level, and features that fit your style. It's Griffin Ford in Waukesha. I buy my cars at Griffin. You can also do it online at griffinford.com.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Just in this morning, Brewer starter Quinn Priester announcing he will undergo season-ending thoracic outlet decompression surgery and will miss the rest of the season.
10 years ago, this was a little bit more of a question mark, but now as things progress, like anything in the medical field, feel really, really confident that we're going to come back even better, clean some of this stuff up, make sure that it's not an issue going forward. It's not something that we're trying to manage and just worried about getting outs and pitching for the Brewers.
Priester says he expects to be out about 8 to 10 months before being back to 100%. Meanwhile, Brewers going for the series sweep this afternoon against the Guardians. 1:10 first pitch. All of our coverage at 12:35 here on WTMJ. Round 1 of the U.S. Open underway at Shinnecock Hills in Southampton, New York. Some big names atop the leaderboard early. Currently, several players at 1 under par. That includes Brooks Koepka, Patrick Reed, and Ludwig Oberg. Golf updates sponsored by Morningstar Golfers Club. Lush green fairways and velvet smooth greens. Play your next round at Morningstar. Visit golfthestar.com today. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We're having some issues 94 northbound. This is right as you get into the Mitchell interchange. A crash right at Layton Avenue. So the 2 left lanes are closed there because of that. So you're seeing some backups all the way to Rawson Avenue because of that accident. Also pretty slow 41 southbound in our construction zone. Seeing those backups starting at Good Hope Road, and then we'll start to ease up once you get past Capitol Drive. Otherwise, rest of the system, everything else looking okay.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Your WTMJ forecast, partly cloudy. We're seeing some sunshine mixed in, breezy. Pretty nice day with a high around 73. Tonight then mostly clear with a low down to 56. Partly cloudy. We could maybe see a late shower Friday, high of 75. And then mostly sunny on Saturday, highs in the upper 70s. Right now, 64 degrees in Madison. It's 65 in Kenosha and 66 right now in Milwaukee. I'm Deal Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:09.
11 o'clock on a Thursday means it's time for a full hour of City Stories with Urban Milwaukee President Jeramey Janine on Point Taken.
All right, let's get this second half hour. You know what we're talking about. We're talking about local news, Milwaukee City of Milwaukee, County of Milwaukee, with the one, the only, Jeramey Janine, urbanmilwaukee.com. Welcome, as always.
He's back.
Thank you, and I have to start by acknowledging the cupcake in the room. Happy birthday, Kristin.
Hey, thank you.
Did I hear that you received the official first cupcake out of that?
No, he's not going to take one, but his daughter is coming.
Oh, so your
and
daughter's-
I think Aubrey rises to the occasion of, or rises to the criteria of deserving of one of the 12 cupcakes.
Yeah, we won't make her eat it on air because...
No. I also won't make her jump through the hoops that all my teammates are going to have to jump through to earn one.
Yes.
Oh, you got to dance for your cookie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
Aubrey.
yeah.
Aubrey gets one just because she's special.
All right, this first one is not new because we've talked about it basically for the last few months.
But it's come to a head.
Yes.
Marty Brooks, this happened, I got to get my dates right, last Monday, so about 10 days ago now, was fired for cause. And the fallout from that has continued because of some of the reasons he was fired for cause. I'm still waiting on an open records request for the specific bill of particulars that he was fired for, but I know many of those things. Some of those things I've alluded, I think, on air to shoes being the trigger for a lot of this.
Expensive shoes.
Which was funny because it was Louboutin shoes, right?
Correct.
Not to be confused with Louis Vuitton.
Okay, and what's the difference?
Because I was listening to the morning show guys, and they called it Louis Vuitton, and I immediately texted in, and I was like, "Nope, those aren't the red bottom shoes. Got it wrong." And they didn't even both of them were like, "It's different."
well, you have earned your salary today because Steve and I certainly would have made that mistake.
I wouldn't have known.
Louis Vuitton is the LX, like the brown pattern, like brown and gold pattern. Louboutin are the shoes that have the red bottom soles.
All right, now we know.
So, as best understood, Marty, for a coworker who was going through a health scare, not a health scare, serious health issue, bought this person a pair of shoes. I'm not naming that person because they're not accused of any wrongdoing in this case. He then also bought himself a pair of shoes, and an employee noticed this and reported it. This investigation then snowballed into all sorts of other things Marty has bought using a district credit card, including several political donations to different candidates, including Cavalier Johnson, David Crowley. People are coming out of the woodwork to say, look at that campaign finance report. Those individuals, Cavalier Johnson, David Crowley, probably didn't know Marty Brooks was using a district credit card, but that's a serious issue.
Because it was under his name.
Right.
But it wasn't his money.
So a process question. So the charges, so what kind of credit card was it? Was it a issued credit card from the org?
It was from the Wisconsin Center District, backed by tax dollars.
What was the review process? Because that should have been caught.
So this is an open question I'm still digging into. That actually the district's audit was just presented with no major concerns. But what is the internal control over?
Right.
Okay, Marty presumably turned in a credit card statement every month that said, okay, here's where I spent all my money. And no one was going, Act Blue. What's Act Blue? That's a donation to candidates. Well, we can't be sending tax dollars there.
Yeah. I mean, that's an obvious one.
That seemed not to have happened because these donations were made. Jose Perez received one going back to 2024.
Interesting.
Yes. Given the pinch.
Okay.
Yes, the alleged pinch. So all these different things happen. A real wrinkle in this was actually, and I've a source that discussed this with me, and I can't go into too much detail, but there was a negotiation to try and buy Marty Brooks out. Marty Brooks turned down a figure that was approaching 7 figures for getting bought out. And then he tried, after they were terminating him, to then accept the last offer, which this has now been publicly reported, $380,000 of, hey, no, I'll take that buyout offer after he got terminated for cause.
And that's gone now, that offer? Or is it still there?
Technically, it's gone. There was some concern that the board might meet again in maybe unfire him and accept that offer because then they avoid any threat of litigation over all this. That appears to have gone nowhere, so he's still fired for cause at the moment.
So, I mean, because up until these investigations, it was like kind of one thing after the other, right? Like there was the pinch, then there was the
study,
and people having mixed feelings as far as who's pushing this, and is there? Yeah. But then this is legitimate cause as far as abusing funds for your own personal dalliances, right?
I think individually, if you look at any of these things, they're like, oh, he could have accidentally bought that and just failed to reimburse it. And he goes back and reimburses it. I think anyone who's ever had a business credit card,
fair.
And I spent a lot of the last couple of weeks looking through campaign finance reports, they're making those reimbursements because they made a mistake and they self-reported it. What happened here is there was a pattern of not doing that. There's also questions. He spent several $1,000s on Lego sets for the contractors who were paid millions of dollars to build the Baird Center. Like, here's a gift of the Baird Center as a custom Lego.
Oh,
and
wow.
Like, is that criminal? Absolutely not. Is that a poor choice? Probably.
So that's a gray area, obviously.
Yeah, so
there's some discretion allowed to the director.
Right. There was a
chairman.
Essentially, a lot of gray area here resulted in this unanimous termination. Now, I should be clear for what the law is and what his employment contract is. He's on a 30-day leave period where he can protest this termination. So this may not be the end of this story, or he could just silently go away.
Has anyone actually interviewed him? Has he made any kind of statement throughout this process?
He's quit responding at this point. Rich Kirchen did get him to say that he had moved to his second home in Florida after clearing out his desk and was working from there.
Well, since we have a forum, Marty Brooks, if you'd like to come on this show next week, this hour, you're more than welcome. Love to hear your side of the story. And all three of us can entertain questions for you and get to the bottom of it, get to your side of the story if you're willing. I would assume you would be.
Absolutely.
So we'll extend it. Maybe he was just waiting for an invitation. Naive.
I'm sure that's what it is.
That's naive, Steve. All right, we'll take a break. Jeramey and Janine, UrbanMilwaukee.com. Before we forget, where's the tchotchke shop?
755 North Milwaukee Street, kitty corner from Hotel Metro and the Pfister Hotel. Wonderful place for things, Milwaukee and Wisconsin gifts. Very popular at this time of year.
All right, love that. All right, quick break here on Point Taken.
Keeping you updated on culture and creativity. What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
Artist Mauricio Ramirez. What's the exact parameters of this mural that will show Bob Uecker on the mic at the ballpark?
The mural measures out 80 feet wide, and the very top is about 100 feet. Massive. The hardest thing is just, honestly, the sheer fear of heights. The birds are definitely a problem. Watch out.
Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ and the What's on Tap podcast on WTMJ.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Looking for the perfect summer getaway? I've got it for you. Celebrate America's 250th birthday throughout Delavan and Delavan Lake, including the historic, legendary, awesome Lake Lawn Resort. Spend your days on the water, enjoy live entertainment, great dining, lakeside views, and family-friendly activities throughout the 10-day special holiday celebration from June 26th through July 5th. Teed up their great golf course, the Majestic Oaks Golf Course, for the Fold of Honor charity outing. Explore Delavan's local celebrations, which I heard are fantastic. And take, of course, you got to do this, taking the spectacular fireworks over the lakes, whether you're planning a family vacation, a couples retreat, we've done that, Kathy and I, or long holiday weekends with friends. Lake Lawn Resort in Delavan is the perfect place to celebrate summer and create new memories that will last a lifetime. Plan your getaway today at lakelawnresorts.com.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. I mean, there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at usainsulation.net.
Third Eye Blind? Tonight, are you going?
Absolutely.
Hey, I'll see you there.
You kids.
All the millennial Gen Xers enjoying Third Eye Blind tonight. Was it 10?
Are you going to all do like
10?
your arm wave at certain songs like that?
Get the lighter out?
Yeah, all that.
For those of us who don't
Love
smoke
it.
and just randomly still have lighters.
Love it.
All right. Welcome back. I am Kristin. He is Steve. We're here with Jeramey, Janine on this Thursday. He is back. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about what to do with high-speed chases.
Yeah, so we have a kind of a policing block of stories here. We'll be able to go into some of these in greater detail next week because the council's going to act on at least one of them. This one about high-speed chases is something that's been percolating for many months within the City Hall. The police department's been looking at it. The Fire and Police Commission's been looking at it. And now the Common Council's been looking at it. There's a general agreement. The 10 deaths last year was 10 too many resulting from high-speed chases. Thankfully, none were of officers involved in the chases, but a number of them were essentially bystanders that were drawn into this because the chase came to them. And they were spread across 6 incidents, and then one of the deaths was actually someone that was paralyzed in 2024, died in 2025. The Fire and Police Commission would like to rein in the ability of the police department to do chases, and they have a very specific area they want to target. That if Kristin, if you're pulled over for speeding and then you engage in reckless driving, that they don't want the police to chase you at that point. If the first offense isn't reckless driving, don't initiate a chase. And that applies to about 15% of the 970 chases the police did last year. There have been 111 chases last year. On average, it's about 15%. The police department says, no, we want to pursue in those cases. And again, this is just an offense where they attempt to pull someone over for any infraction that's not reckless driving, then the person does something reckless to not be pulled over. The police department says, no, we actually made a change in February, which gives our officers more discretion to say, we're terminating this chase for safety reasons, and we want to see how that data plays out. The Common Council members are kind of all over the place, but we're here in this 3-party discussion now because Act 12, the sales tax law, stripped the Fire and Police Commission of its authority to change police department policy. So this normally would have been an open and shut case just between the Fire and Police Commission and the police department. We now have this kind of trifecta going on where the Fire and Police Commission says, Chief Norman, we'd like you to change. He says no, and they can then appeal to the Common Council for a 2/3 vote. And in this case, it appears the Common Council is going to say no. It was defeated on a 1-4 vote at the Public Safety and Health Committee. There is another proposal we'll pivot to coming, though, that does have full council support for likely a 2/3 override, which is to change how the city responds to if ICE shows up in town.
Sort of a process question. So when I knew this was on the agenda, I looked it up, like national best practices. And you mentioned the one thresholds, right? Yeah. So that criteria makes sense. The other one is environmental. So you have school zones, weather conditions, traffic conditions, density, time of day. Why are we just not, like a lot of cities across this country, just following the national best practices on this? Or are we on the way to that?
For high-speed chases, this is the argument from Bree Spencer on the Fire and Police Commission. She's the vice chair, said Milwaukee is way out of alignment on what the best practices are. I'm not an expert to talk in detail on what specifically those are, but one of them they're citing is that initiating a chase only after a non-high-speed, non-reckless driving offense, like that's out of line with national best practice. And they don't want to block the authority of the police department to do high-speed chases. They just want to do slight dial turns.
Right.
Well, because I mean, I get it. I get the deterrence of like, we will come after you. And like, just because you speed away doesn't mean you're going to get off scot-free. But I mean, is this where like the flocking cameras or something like that might actually help because you can get someone's driver's license? Because I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very good point. The police department, one of the things they say is they're now deploying, there's 7 police districts. They're deploying 2 squad cars in each district to have something called Star Chase, which is essentially a gun that's mounted on the front of the squad car and shoots a little projectile that attaches to the car. Pretty hard to see is part of the sales pitch, I guess, from the company, that then GPS tracks that company. The Fire and Police Commission, which has expressed concern about other surveillance stuff, is talking about, we'd like you guys to use more drones in these situations.
Yeah.
So you're able to follow the car from above.
It makes sense. Technology. The other thing that we're seeing under Attorney Goike is a rise in these convictions for reckless driving, which my mind, a good thing.
Yeah, this is a very clearly a good thing. Evan Goike was elected in early 2024, replacing Tierman Spencer. In October 2024, he joins with the mayor, with the district attorney incoming, Kent Laverne, And Police Chief Jeffrey Norman says, if you're charged with reckless driving, we're going to prosecute that to the max. We're not going to plea bargain that down. And the net result of that now, flash forward to 2026, has been 15% of charges used to be, if you were charged with reckless driving, you got convicted of reckless driving. That's now up to 85%.
Oh, wow.
Dramatic change.
Gosh. And what is the, sorry, go for that.
Oh, the key thing is the second offense for reckless driving previously wasn't a criminal case. We now have a state law change, so Evan Goyke prosecutes municipal offenses. Those second offenses now are criminal cases, and Kent Laverne, as the DA, also committed to not plea bargaining those down.
Nice. So that's an actual change I think most people would stand behind.
My question was going to be, what is the typical sentence if convicted?
So
the first and second.
If you're convicted of a municipal offense, the penalties are often very, very small and monetary, but the key thing is getting that conviction puts you in the process, if you continue to offend, to get a real penalty of jail time or something more severe for a second criminal offense.
Real quick before we get to the break, the police chief, Jeffrey Norman, promises to focus more on nuisance properties and landlords.
Common Ground is a big South Side campaign. They looked at the data and found over basically a 10-year period, the amount of this nuisance designation had gone way down, which is a penalty the police department can use to force compliance from bad landlords. Jeffrey Norman ran his own data, determined, yes, it has gone down. He openly admitted, I think the exact words were, we can take our eye off the ball, and committed to doubling down on making sure nuisance designations were allowed where appropriate. And there's a full discussion on Urban Milwaukee about where those things actually are.
Lots more with Jeramey and Janine, UrbanMilwaukee.com. Streetcar festivals. Hello, it's Summerfest time. We'll get to that after this.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money, too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
For those with a warm weather fashion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Ridgetop Exteriors. Trusted, local, affordable. Thinking about a new roof? New siding? New windows? Think Ridgetop Exteriors, your trusted local experts. We've been doing this for over 25 years, and we're good at it. Just ask our 40,000 satisfied customers. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, we handle it all. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com for your free estimate. No pressure, just honest answers. Ridgetop Exteriors. Trusted, local, affordable.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week we celebrate summer in Wisconsin, from rock climbing, great climbs across the state of Wisconsin, opportunity there, and golfing in the state of Wisconsin, and water skiing. Sound fun?
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Couple minutes remaining with Jeramey. This half hour of his hour on our Thursday program. He's here every Thursday from urbanmilwaukee.com. Jeramey and Janine. All right, streetcar festivals, take it away.
And again, if you can use it to go see Third Eye Blind tonight, which Jaslyn has played once again, and find Kristin and I there celebrating her birthday.
What time's that show at? Do we know?
I think it's 10.
10
Because someone of
o'clock.
the texters said, selfishly, I feel like Third Eye Blind should be at 6 p.m. due to the age of those of us who would like to be in the audience.
Good points.
So it'll be Bill and Joe better bring it tomorrow.
It will be Jake Curtis.
Ah.
Joe's coming tonight, so Joe and I may be a little slow tomorrow.
That's right. I'll pick
The
up
conservatives may have it up one up on us.
All right, so what's going on with the hop?
If you're looking to get to Summerfest and you're always concerned about paying for parking, or you don't want to deal with the bar shuttle for whatever reason, and also you've been streetcar curious for a while and don't understand who would use it, now is the time to do it. The festival line configuration, the city actually has 2 streetcar lines. They have the M, the main line, and the L, the lakefront line. They're joining them together for the rest of the summer into the F festival line, which means every streetcar goes on the lakefront extension, takes you right almost to the north gate of the Summerfest grounds, right across the street. So if I were giving out free parking advice, I'd say park on like Lion Street near Ogden tonight at the north end of the route. Get on the streetcar. It'll loop you around, take you to the base of the Couture, get out, walk right into Summerfest. And then when you're ready to go home, just walk back to the Couture, hop on, they'll get you right back. Great way to actually use the streetcar if you haven't.
Traditionally,
not have to
they
pay for
do well.
parking.
Yeah, they do
Or
well
deal with
during
traffic.
Summerfest.
Yes, very.
Yeah.
Streetcars, great utility for this.
Yeah, so all those bashers of the hop, and there are a lot of them out there.
Are you a basher of the hop?
I'm neutral.
I feel like, you don't really have a lot of...
No, for people that utilize it, knock yourself up. I think at some point you have to figure out, what the future is.
My thing has always been we got to figure out what it is.
Yeah, and once we do that, could you mentioned BART earlier? Great example of a system that
Oh, yeah.
works. It was there in the 80s when I was in.
Getting the streetcar to go to some of the venues of
Yes.
getting to the Fiserv, getting to AmFam, getting to Pato.
Getting a Wolski's. Just kidding. We got Neil. That was for me and all of you. Neil Doyle coming up. Here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. President Trump in a social media post says the memo of understanding with Iran has oil flowing again and vowed that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Vice President J.D. Vance at a briefing pushing back on criticism Iran gets to sell oil and possibly receive access to billions in frozen funds.
I've seen skeptics of the deal. People say the Iranians will never change their behavior. Well, maybe that's true. And if so, they don't get any of the benefits of the bargain. But isn't it worth trying?
The Supreme Court today ruling a Texas man who admitted to using marijuana and was charged with unlawful possession of a gun was unconstitutional. Justice Neil Gorsuch, who wrote the opinion, said it's a narrow decision and does not end the government's power to take guns away from drug users. In Chicago this hour, the dedication ceremony underway for the Obama Presidential Center. That center opens to the public tomorrow. And in New York Knicks fans are celebrating the NBA champions with a ticker tape parade, the team's first title in more than 50 years. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Neil Doyle. Milwaukee police investigating a shooting that left a 37-year-old with serious injuries early this morning. Happened just after midnight near 19th and Beecher on the city's south side. The victim was taken to the hospital. Their condition is unknown. Police are still searching for suspects. The man accused of intentionally hitting his father with a car, now in custody. 23-year-old Lindsay Ward of Milwaukee facing 2 felony charges of attempted first-degree intentional homicide, also hit and run. Menominee Falls police arrested Ward on Wednesday after a 4-day manhunt. Ward is accused of fleeing the scene after an argument with his father led to him intentionally striking his father with the car that happened last weekend. The father was taken to the hospital for life-threatening injuries. And the Juneteenth flag now flying above the City Hall complex in downtown Milwaukee to honor the upcoming holiday. Alderwoman Malele Cox.
I think the last year or two, I, like many of you, have not just been reflecting or thinking about the future, but also have been thinking about the preservation of the freedoms that we have obtained.
Milwaukee is home to one of the oldest and longest-running Juneteenth celebrations in the nation. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Nasdaq soaring up well over 1% at 26,386. The Dow is up 180 points at 51,672, and the S&P 500 up over 1% as well at 7,495. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the road, your WTMJ time saver traffic. We got a few different issues to report here. 41 southbound, we are still seeing some slow movement. Part of that is the work zone, but we also have a crash. 41 southbound, this is onto the ramp to Appleton Avenue, so that's a bit of a concern, but then just some typical delays in that stretch. So you're backed up from Good Hope. Starts to ease up once you get past Capitol Drive. Also still dealing with this accident. This is 94 northbound, right into the collector at Layton Avenue. So as you are starting to head into the Mitchell interchange, 2 left lanes are blocked there because of that accident. So seeing some backups all the way to Drexel Avenue. Otherwise, rest of the system, everything else looking okay. In your WTMJ forecast, partly cloudy, breezy. We're seeing some sunshine. Certainly a nice day to open up Summerfest, a high around 73 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear with the low down to 56. For Friday, we'll be partly cloudy, maybe a chance of a shower late with highs in the mid-70s. And then as we move into the weekend, Saturday, plenty of sunshine with a high of 77. Right now, it's 67 degrees in Green Bay, sitting at 65 in Waukesha, and it's 67 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
You take pride in your Milwaukee area home, so why let it disappear when the sun goes down? At Blingle Premier Lighting, they create breathtaking landscape lighting that transforms your home into the showpiece of the neighborhood. Elegant uplighting, softly illuminated walkways, architectural lighting that highlights the beauty you've already invested in. Landscape lighting doesn't just make your home look incredible. It adds curb appeal, increases perceived value, improves safety, and creates an experience you enjoy every single night. In fact, it's the one thing homeowners never realize they want until they have it. And once they do, they can't imagine living without it. From luxury landscape lighting to permanent holiday lighting and patio lighting, Blingle designs custom systems built specifically for your home. No hassle, no stress, just a home that looks absolutely stunning after dark. See us at blingle.com/MKE. Blingle Premier Lighting. Your home will never look this beautiful. That's blingle.com/MKE.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment. And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder. Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
I'm actually getting really excited now as we keep having these third eye
winding
blind.
you up. That's what he's
third
doing.
eye blind bump backs. I'm like, oh, this is going to be so fun tonight. All right, welcome back. I am Kristin. He is Steve. We're talking to Jeramey Janine on this Thursday, and we are moving to Landlord Homes, embattled landlord David Tomlin makes surprise City Hall appearance.
I was walking into City Hall last week, and I ran into a real estate developer that I hadn't had the chance to meet in person yet.
I love that you just know what they look like. I don't think I would know.
I wouldn't know
what
what
a
he looks
lot
like.
of that. Like, I might recognize their name, but like knowing their face, probably not.
So you spend enough time watching meetings, you recognize these people over time. And so I said hi to this person. Then this other person walks up to me and goes, "Am I in the right place?" And he had a Highgrove Holdings shirt on. And I was like, Highgrove Holdings, which is the company we're about to talk about.
Okay.
So I was like, I recognize this guy, but I can't quite place him yet. And then he continues to walk into City Hall, into the rotunda, into the middle of Common Ground's rally before this meeting, which is about the Jeffrey Norman nuisance property thing. Well, this individual is David Tomlin, and he's the very reason Common Ground was rallying, because they launched that campaign with City Attorney Evan Goyke back at the end of March. And Tomlin, who is based in Los Angeles, owns about 260 properties in Milwaukee, or is about to own a lot less, as we'll get to in the second story. But he's just been this absent figure, and all of a sudden he shows up with no reason to show up. He's not called. He just comes. And then he comes upstairs to the committee room and he just sits through the meeting. And then when Kevin Solomon from Common Ground is doing a press scrum afterwards, I doing my tricky reporter trick, which is David Tomlin is standing right behind you. Are you guys on the same page right now? And usually the person then would scatter into the wind. But David Tomlin turns and faces all the cameras and engaged in just a phenomenal from a reporting standpoint.
Gave it up.
Engage, where Jeramey from WTMJ was like, do you own nuisance properties? And he goes, well, I own what the Department of Neighborhood Services calls nuisance properties. And granted, they call them that because they've been 4,000 plus code violations they've cited him for. So make your own determination.
I think
there.
that qualifies.
So just this really weird moment where he's there at City Hall and he steps right into this press conference. And the reason I think he was in Milwaukee was 2 days later, he had a foreclosure case in front of a judge for the 1/3 of his property that the city is not suing him over. So a cluster of about 86 homes. The city is a party to this lawsuit, but U.S. Bank is suing on a foreclosure case for this group of properties, primarily clustered on the north side. We're talking single family duplex homes. There's a photo of one of them in our article where there's a light on and the ceiling is collapsing right next to it. People are living in these conditions. And the court instituted what the lender and the city are asking for, which is a receiver. So now David Tomlin he owns the property still for now, but there's a receiver, a third party is now controlling these properties. And the hope from Common Ground, from the city, and from the lender is that improvements are going to be made to these properties. But the question is, more than 40% of them are vacant. So how is they going to fund making code compliance repairs? If 40...
I was going to ask you the financial state of his business. Is it on solid footing?
This is the biggest problem, and this is when I talk to people about this off the record. Like, I don't understand how the math on any of this adds up, and this is going to be a big problem for the city's case where they hope improvements can be made, because generally across this whole portfolio of 260 properties, about 40% of them are vacant, which means there's no cash flow. And so if you're trying to improve those properties as a receiver, you have no cash to do that. If the city takes ownership, it's going to have to come up with cash elsewhere. And then the other 60%, many of them seem to be in pretty bad condition. Now, Tomlin defends himself and says 85% of his tenants have signed a letter saying that essentially he's a great guy, and Common Ground obviously disputes that and says they were signed under duress. Tomlin says he's going to have some press event that he's going to show us all essentially what a great guy he is. That's yet to happen. He's been promising it now for several weeks.
So no acknowledgement that there are problems from David Tomlin.
He acknowledges that his business plan that involved buying properties and closing them has caused a cash issue, but not of we have this serious public health nuisance we've created.
All right, we'll take a break. After the break, it's not a data center. Even though
it is.
Even though it might be.
There's multiple versions of data centers.
After this.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the products you need and trust at unbeatable prices? Like a 200-pound AgriMaster protein tub, $69.99. Save $2 on 200-count boxes of blue shop towels. And all AC Delco, Motorcraft, and Wix oil filters, 15% off. Find the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scavini talking about QC Kinetics. Change my life, can change yours. Any of these things sound familiar? Can't raise your arms. Can't climb stairs. Can't kneel down. Can't play with your kids, grandkids, whatever applies. Can't golf with your friends or get through a workday without exhausting pain. That does not have to be your reality. I had horrific elbow pain, elbow tear, strain, tennis elbow. And I went to Dr. Ashley Caravelli and a great team at the Greenfield location at QC Kinetics, and they did it for me. Regenerative treatments, using my body's own healing powers right in the office. No missing work, no surgery, no long recovery, no meds. Calm the inflammation down first, couple visits, and then the pain went away forever, hopefully. Right now, if you're watching on YouTube, good as new. I love hearing all the testimonials from people, so continue to send me those on my email. But here at WTMJ, we want to help you dig out from that pain, and they can help you do it at QC Kinetics. Here's the easy way to do it. Start with a free consultation. Start the healing process. Get rid of the pain. Get rid of the inflammation first. 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559, QC Kinetics.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Hey, WTMJ's John Merck here for pilots and aviation lovers. There's nothing like making a trip to EAA AirVenture Oshkosh. July 20th through the 26th. Get up close to thousands of aircraft. Learn about the newest innovation. Get hands-on with experts and witness breathtaking daily air shows, some even at night. There's no better way to immerse yourself into the world of aviation than by checking out the world's greatest aviation celebration. Fuel your passion for flight. EAA.org is the website. July 20th through the 26th, EAA.org.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
All right, we've teed this one up before, but Jeramey, Janine, UrbanWalking.com will give us the latest on. It's not a data center, but it is something. What is it?
This is consistently a problem. Is we don't have a definition of what a data center really is. Yeah. Because it used to be a data center was a room with a bunch of computers in it. So I could I could build one in my basement. There could be one in the back room at Good Karma Brands. But then this thing called hyperscalers came into view, which is Microsoft, OpenAI, Anthropic, building these facilities that are 1 million plus square feet that have all these concerns about water use, about energy use, about noise. So what's proposed for the former Walmart in Midtown Center in the middle of Milwaukee, about 60th and Capitol, is nothing of the sort of that large. But the person proposing it, Trent Overhue of Affordable Family Storage, and the quote data center is one of many different things happening at this facility, just seems to always try to be elusive about this. So I got a chance to do an interview with him last week, and he said, no, it's not a data center. But then he did this twisted words thing, which is what drew my attention to it in the first place a couple weeks ago, which is, well, it seems like you're describing a data center because you're talking about a computer research facility. He is proposing to bring in a little bit of extra power to the building, says We Energies has plenty of capacity. But it's going to be in the back. So the Walmart, just to throw some numbers at you, 160,000 square foot Walmart. The parking lot would be redeveloped as 200-unit affordable housing buildings. The city would put a new library in the front of the Walmart. There'd be a 30,000 square foot community use that the city has not disclosed yet. Trent's main business, the Affordable Family Storage, would occupy most of the Walmart at about 90,000 square feet. And then about a 19,000 square foot computer research facility, or a data center, I guess, at the back of the building would be added in there. And the reason he's pursuing that is because that's a fairly lucrative area for companies that need computing power. You think of, it's not who the tenant is, but like a direct supply might need a new data center with lots of computing power. It doesn't need a Microsoft-sized thing. Mm-hmm. They're putting it back here. There's all kinds of somewhat misguided concern that, this thing's going to emit all this noise. It's going to be bad for water. It's like going to have this terrible neighborhood impact. As Trent says, you'll never know that we would exist in the back of this building. Now, he tells me I've done this in other cities, but he won't tell me where they've done it, which I don't think is doing his case good.
Yeah.
Well, somebody emailed me, God, it must have been a month or two ago when we were talking about this, I think this story or something related to data centers, that one of the newer ideas in some of these urban settings is to have these smaller facilities and you network them so they're not all together and somehow network that computing power to make it a bigger overall system.
Yes.
I mean, that could be part of what this is.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if you're having a hard time imagining what 19,000 square feet looks like, I was driving down Water Street, and the now empty A.J. Bombers building is like up for rent or lease or whatever. Maybe they're selling it. That's 12,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like 19,000 square feet is not that big.
No.
And this is in the back of a building that you won't see. It's governed by the city's noise ordinances. It doesn't have exterior generators. There will be a backup generator that's inside the building. It uses a closed-looped water facility, which he points to the Pick and Save across the street that uses the same facility. So the cooling isn't just constantly sucking in water. It's recirculating the same water. So fairly innocuous, but Alderman Mark Chambers schedules 3 community meetings about this. The first one gets taken over not by a group of neighbors, but by members of the Party for Socialism and Liberation who just want to show up and kind of yell, it would seem, about this and not have a discussion about the facts. But the city now finds itself in a tenuous position where it's got a deal on the line where it can get this new library, it can get a community use, which it hasn't been able to publicly identify yet, but I can vouch that what they're talking about is a true community use. But it's conditioned on the storage and this data, whatever it is, computing component at the back, also getting approved. That makes the finances for the whole thing works. The developer gives the land at the front to the city for free in exchange for putting these things in the
give
back.
and take. You're not going to, everything's not 100% win. You're going to give something to get something. In this case, affordable housing, library, other uses. Come on, give and take.
I mean, is there a threat that by blocking this aspect of the development, it would block everything?
Yes, the whole development deal would fall apart.
Okay.
Compromise.
So there's a community meeting tonight at the former Walmart, 5825 West Hope Avenue, 5:30 to 7. It's an open house meeting. Show up for whatever part you want to see. And then there's next Saturday, there'll be a virtual open house that you can come learn more.
And don't show up and yell. It's a waste of everybody's time and not good for your eardrums. We'll wrap it up with Jeramey, Janine, UrbanMilwaukee.com after this.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction is accused of violating the state's open meetings laws during a 2024 conference up in the Dells.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
Well, Wisconsin has a substantial presence on the Fortune 500 list.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m.
You can also watch us on YouTube. Hop into our studios for the rest of the show and any show.
Only on WTMJ.
Hey, it's Kristin from Point Taken on 620 WTMJ, and I am smiling a lot today because I've gotten so many great birthday messages. And who do I trust with my smile but Dr. James Michaels and the team over at Economawalk Dental Care. Yes, I drive all the way from Milwaukee to Economawalk to see Dr. Michaels and his incredible staff. Because when you find a dental team that makes you feel comfortable, listened to, and cared for, that drive is worth it. Dr. Michaels has been practicing in Economawalk for more than 25 years, and his approach is simple. Treat people the way they want to be treated. So whether you're due for a cleaning, thinking about cosmetic options, or just need a dental home where you feel at ease, call Economawalk Dental Care at 262-567-7224. Economawalk Dental Care with Dr. James Michaels, the team I trust with my smile.
Looking for books, movies, digital tools, exciting programs, and more? Milwaukee County Public Libraries have it all, totally free. One library card opens the doors to all 27 public libraries in the county. Kids can dive into story times and STEAM kits full of fun and discovery, while adults can join book clubs, sharpen career skills, or take online classes in everything from tech to language learning. Head to findmylibrary.org to begin exploring libraries and open up a world of unlimited access to learning and fun.
The Matrix is Penny Mustard's most popular TV stand.
No way. It's a computer-generated simulation.
How do you know?
Look closely at the Matrix. See all the pixels?
Those aren't pixels.
That's wood grain.
The Matrix TV stand is handcrafted from solid wood.
Built to your specifications and TV size.
Yeah, right. That's what they want you to believe.
Come see the totally real and wildly popular Matrix TV stand, starting at $28.44 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Are you like me? Do you stress about your home, how it looks, or maybe you're worried about something leaking? Well, you can live with peace of mind and without stress by getting a new roof from Tri-County Contracting. Get yourself a free instant roof quote right now. Go to TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's that easy. It's roofing, siding, and windows that'll make you love your home again. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, what do you got left, Jeramey?
Let's talk trains, because I know you're going to do a lot of that next week, but let's talk about what's actually getting ready to roll in Wisconsin. Wisconsin seeks federal grant to start Madison train service. This is somewhat a recast of the proposal incoming Governor Scott Walker chucked in 2010 for the 110-mile-per-hour proposal. It's a more cost-effective version of it. It's much cheaper, but it would be slower. It would initially be, depending on the segment, 79 or 59 miles per hour instead of 110. And the vision here is extending the existing Hiawatha train that goes between Chicago and Milwaukee round the corner, essentially, and keep going to Madison with stops in Pewaukee and Watertown. There was a webinar in April where the state and Amtrak laid out a lot of the work they've done. They also kind of laid out the timeline that's going to be forthcoming on that. And now the communities on that route, Pewaukee and Watertown, are going through their internal approval process to say, okay, this is where the station would be. It'd likely be a temporary station. We can move it in the future. But we want to do a letter of support because the hope is for this $200-some million project, again, about a quarter of the $800 million cost from 15 years ago, that project would be 80% funded, hopefully, by the federal government. The best case scenario sees this starting in 2029. I would guess it will likely be a little bit later than that. Part of that is the politics. I don't know that the Trump administration will be jumping on the bandwagon to fund this. But there is momentum. I have an article breaking down kind of the different ownership that affects the different track speeds, the plans, where the actual stations would go in those two communities, and then other details involved in how this would work. But 2 round trips a day. The vision would be you could wake up in Madison and make it to a morning meeting in Chicago, and then you could leave around dinner time and be home.
There you go. All right, well, I'll quickly plug the event for next week, June 25th. The High Speed Rail Alliance is putting on an event called Thinking Big about Wisconsin passenger rail. I'm just emceeing. I'm definitely not one of the experts. And so, but there are still tickets. And so if you go to hsrail.org, there is on their events page there. You can get more information there. I'll put it in our newsletter this weekend as well. But we would love to see you there and learn more about how to get around without having to drive yourself.
I suspect this project I was just talking about, Hiawatha West, it's called, will be a big topic of conversation.
I would imagine, yeah.
All right, since we love audience involvement in the show, question for Jeramey. Is there a timeline for creating that plaza overhead walkway across Lincoln Memorial Drive between the Couture and the lakefront side?
So there is no timeline yet. The project is designed but unfunded. The vision is essentially from the second level of the Couture, you'd be able to walk down towards the Summerfest grounds, never have to cross the street on the ground. And then the other thing we were talking about in the break, the construction on Lincoln Memorial Drive there, it's all part of rebuilding the Michigan and Lincoln Memorial intersection. That is supposed to be wrapping up today. Now, it rained a lot yesterday, so I don't know how that impacts
I'm
the
not
timeline.
confident that's going to be done.
But the vision was, going back a month or two now, to get out of the way for Summerfest now that there's so many people that are not familiar with that area, so Steve doesn't have to yell at them when he's driving to work.
You think about how long that's been going on, the Couture building and all that. Just, now we're talking about 794 and whatever that's going to be, in the future, that way out. Just settle that corner the hell down. Let's get that fixed. Because we got festivals to go to.
We have festivals to go to, and Jeramey and I have a festival to go to tonight.
Yeah. Well, tell me how it is tomorrow. I mean,
we will. We'll tell you how it went.
Awesome.
But yes, if you're at Summerfest tonight, come find Jeramey, come find me. We'll say hi. And a big shout out to Jim Santel, who did indeed came through. And for my birthday, I'm holding it in my hand, a pocket Constitution that I can now reference.
All right. Happy birthday, Kristin Bride. We'll be back tomorrow with the guys right here on 620 WTMJ.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk,